Hello, I'm Julia Goplerud, Chair of District Operations for Cradle of Liberty Council. I'm here, along with Greg Osborne, to introduce to you our new model of field service. As most of you are aware, the long-standing model of field service, both in our council and throughout the Boy Scouts of America, has been to assign one full-time professional to serve as a professional scouter in each of our districts. The professional works with volunteers on the main district operations such as program, fundraising, membership, unit service, and general administration. The professional is a generalist, and as such, our DE's attention is often dispersed over a wide range of tasks, and it takes a lot of time. The district executive also covers service gaps in the district caused by volunteers dropping out, or if they're not able to be recruited for particular positions, such as finance or membership. Due to the challenging nature of this position, as it's evolved over the years, we all know that many DEs experience a high level of burnout due to the constant pressure of multiple priorities. And in addition, staff reductions may require professionals to serve more than one district, which compounds the workload. We are transitioning to a new model of field service to address some of these issues surrounding the district executive position. The new model converts the generalist role into a specialist role. So instead of one DE assigned to each district, a service team composed of 3 professionals is going to be assigned to each district. Each service team will have a staff member focused on service and program, membership, and fundraising, respectively. This model allows for our professionals to focus on their strengths and organizational priorities to provide better service to our partners and volunteers in order to continue to offer and provide quality programs.
As you may know, in December of 2020, the Council unfortunately had to undertake a staff reduction due to COVID-19. 8 of our full-time staff members were laid off, which at the time represented 20% of our workforce. As a result, we had to reallocate resources and roles and responsibilities, and this really gave us an opportunity to rethink how we best do that. Like many things, the pandemic expedited the need for change. With staff reductions aside, as Julia alluded to, we knew that the position of a district executive has becoming increasingly inefficient throughout this last several years, really over the last few decades, as more and more roles and responsibilities were piled upon folks. It just really almost became untenable and very difficult for any one person to try to keep their attention on such a wide range of different things to focus on. Districts are primarily responsible for program functions, so that's activities in civic service, training, camp promotion, advancement and recognition. Also membership functions like recruitment and retention and new unit development, fundraising, so annual campaigns, product sales like popcorn, adventure cards, and also just unit service in general, answering questions, making sure units have the resources they need. And on top of that, making sure that we have enough volunteers recruited to be able to help fulfill these responsibilities. Because even if you do have one person, one district executive that's overseeing all of that, it's simply not possible for that one person to do that alone. So, as a result, this was an opportunity for us to rethink how that position was going to be going forward, and as a result, we took a team approach. As opposed to having one person responsible for a lot of different things, we're going to have a person responsible for one aspect of district operations, and to work in teams to avoid that burnout that Julia was talking about, and to really be more efficient in how we're out there delivering service. This will also help position our council for growth. Like just about every other organization and business throughout the world in the last year, the COVID-19 pandemic has hit very hard. And this is an opportunity for us now, as hopefully we're getting through this, to be able to be that resource and that organization for families to be able to get outside and for young people to continue to build leadership skills, and to learn those lessons that are going to help them be ethical leaders in the future. So this really helps us position and focus on growing over the next several years.
So let's take a step back and look at our options. If we stay with the current model, because we have 11 districts and only 11 professionals, we would have to consolidate our districts. We also would have to add functional assignments on top of the current responsibilities for each district executive. The district executives, of course, would continue to be generalists. They would be responsible for doing tasks from A to Z within the district, and there would be the one-to-one staff to district ratio. Now let's think about the new model. Under the new model, we're able to keep our existing districts, each of which has its own culture and own volunteer structure. We're able to recognize the individual staff's strengths and interests and let them perform in that particular role. Our district executives, therefore, would become specialists, and we would be moving forward to at least a 3-to-1 staff-to-district ratio.
So what's not changing? As we discussed, district boundaries and volunteer structures in those districts, district committees and commissioner teams are not going away. And of course, our commitment to serving our partners in our programs to provide the best possible quality programs for the kids and families that we serve. And really that is one of the primary reasons driving this entire transition, is our commitment and our want to really do that well, especially after we're coming off of what was a very difficult year for everybody. We want to be there, and we want to be there in the most efficient and effective way possible to make sure scouting gets going again in some cases, and in other cases just continues to kick off, and we get back outside and we continue to do the great things that we do here locally in the Credit Liberty Council with our programs. What is changing is we're going to have one district service team per district as opposed to just one district executive per district. And again, this is going to allow our staff to focus on those areas of expertise, those areas that they're stronger in and have a greater interest in, to work with our volunteers to help those leaders at the unit level continue to deliver great scouting programs.
Let's look at our new service teams. As you can see from the map, we have divided them somewhat geographically, although there are other considerations as well. Service Team 1 is our city units, Northern, Roosevelt, Triune, as well as Washington and Conestoga districts. If you look at the map toward the middle of our council, you'll see Service Team 2 is composed of Baden-Powell, Constellation, and Minquist districts. Next we have Service Team 3, Continental, General Nash, and Lafayette districts.
So how are these service teams determined? Well, one of the factors that we made sure to include were the number of units per staff member. In our current model, we have some districts that have a district executive and 25 units, and we have other districts that have one district executive serving anywhere between 55 to 65 units. And you might say, well, that doesn't make a whole lot of sense. And we'd say, we agree with you. So that was one of the factors. We were able to disperse that a little bit more by through these service teams. The determination also took into consideration the current and future growth potential in membership and fundraising. As we said before, we need to position ourselves for growth in membership and also in bringing in the revenue needed to fuel scouting programs and the operations of the council to help support those. One of the most important factors determined in here was the tenure, talent, and experience of our current staff members. So where their talents best fit in to help serve our units. Also as a consideration, but not the primary one, was the geographic location of the districts within the service team areas. And one thing to keep in mind here is these aren't super districts. As we said, district boundaries aren't changing, those district structures aren't changing. This is simply how we're allocating our field team to work with district volunteers to do the work of scouting. And ultimately, that work is to ensure that we have quality local programs for our youth and families. So as you can see, here's the structure of our new model of field service. Service Team 1, you have a field director overseeing the entire service team, and along with that field director, you have a service and program director working with a membership and fundraising executive to help fulfill those functions. And also in Service Team 1, we have a school and workforce programs director who's going to work not only with Service Team 1, but also the rest of the service teams and throughout the council to ensure that we have effective after-school scouting programs, STEM programs, and also our career development exploring programs throughout the council, so we can continue to work with our schools and our partners throughout the council to continue to help solve problems and have an impact on our families and our youth and the communities that we serve. For both Service Team 2 and 3, the structures are very much the same. There's a district director who is the overall team leader for the service team, who is going to be working with a service and program executive and a membership executive to help fulfill those duties. The team leaders, the district director, will also be primarily responsible for fundraising functions within the service team. So as you can see here, we've outlined some of the general roles and responsibilities for each of these functions. Also, what all of the executives are going to be responsible for, which are, of course, things like health and safety, public relations, and helping out with council events and serving as staff advisors to the various committees that we have throughout the council. One of the things that all of the team members are going to do too are rotate through the different district meetings. So the district commissioner meetings, district committee meetings, the roundtable meetings. A different member of your service team will rotate through those meetings. So you can get to know them, but also to make sure that we're not having every executive go to what in many cases could be dozens of meetings throughout just the first couple of weeks of each month. So the idea is to rotate folks through, and of course those district committee meetings are at the end of the day led by your district chair, and the district commissioner meetings are of course led by the district commissioner. So the field team members that they're going to be there are going to be there to support, to answer questions as they can, and to make sure that resources are allocated as needed.
The next slide shows you how we have organized our service, field service model and the individuals that represent that in each service team area. So timeline. We recently presented this model to the board and to district chairs. And now we're moving forward to present it to you and all of your colleagues. We have frequently asked questions available that will be posted on the website. We'll also be addressing those here, and the rest of the information is also on the website. We are enthusiastic about our new model, and we look forward to sharing it with you in person or virtually. Now let's go over some of these frequently asked questions, because I know you have them. What do you mean by field service?
Field service refers to the staff members employed by the council and the work that they do with district and council volunteers to support successful unit operations.
What is a district?
A scouting district is a geographic area of the council as determined by the local council executive board. District leaders mobilize resources to ensure the growth and success of the units within that district's territory. The purpose of the district is to work through chartered organizations and local community groups to organize and support successful units, successful local programs, Cub Scout packs, Scouts BSA troops, venturing crews, Sea Scout ships, Explorer posts, STEM labs, all of the different programs that we provide. The end result of effective district support is more youth members receiving a better program.
Why is this change being made?
A staff reorganization is necessary due to the reduction in force that was put in place in December 2020 as a result of the consequence of the ongoing and anticipated effects of the COVID-19 pandemic and the resulting loss in council revenue. While the change was accelerated by the pandemic, the previous model of field service needed to change regardless due to the issues surrounding the district executive position.
Why weren't district volunteers involved in the initial planning process of this change?
As this change was precipitated by a staff reduction, and that being a human resources issue, it simply wasn't appropriate to include anybody in that decision-making process besides the key volunteer and managerial leadership of the Cradle Liberty Council. It's also important to keep in mind that other than staff deployment, the districts aren't changing.
Are district boundaries and volunteer structures changing?
Districts are remaining as they are, and each will have a volunteer district committee and commissioner team as they do right now.
How were the service teams decided?
Each service team was put together with the following items in mind: number of units per staff member, the current and future potential growth in membership and fundraising, the tenure, talent, and experience of our current staff members, and the geographic location of districts within the service team areas.
How do I know which professional of my district service team to call with questions?
Each service team will have a team leader who can facilitate answering questions. You can also ask your volunteer unit commissioner, if you have one of those, to direct you to the appropriate person. In addition, council support staff are here to help you and help you get the resources and the answers to the questions that you need.
Due to staff reductions, who do I call at council for service questions?
Every member of the council staff can help direct you to get the answer to the question or find the resource that you need. Your service team leader or unit commissioner can also help direct you on whom to contact.
Aren't the service teams just going to become super districts?
At its core, Scouting is a volunteer-led and professionally guided movement. Our service teams are how the organization is strategically deploying its paid field staff. It's more important than ever that districts continue to recruit volunteers to work with the staff to accomplish the work of Scoutings in our districts, which are there to ensure that units succeed. The alignment of service teams does not prevent districts from working together if they're in different service teams, on events, projects, whatever it might be. It's simply how we're deploying our staff and how we're doing that, hopefully more effectively, to be able to serve our units better.
And which professionals will attend what particular meeting?
Members of your service team will rotate through the different districts' meetings, commissioner team meetings, district committee meetings, and roundtable meetings. This will give you the opportunity to meet those folks, to discuss their particular area of emphasis, but also they're there to help you answer general questions or get you to the resources that you need to help units succeed, and that's going to continue.